Now,
the new topic.
Benji,
Yeah.
there was a concern raised by the ranking on Parliament Select Committee on Transport, or a former ranking on Parliament Select Committee on Transport, and currently a Deputy Majority Leader, Gavin Agboja ranking.
Right.
And it's about a so-called fumigation fee for luggage of passengers at the airport. Is it true, coming from government official sources?
Well, Roland, I can state categorically and very clear that government has no intention of making or bringing into reality this policy whatsoever. What I have learned is that it was a way of suggestion that Ministry of Health, because of the fumigation cost ongoing at the airport, they suggest that the airlines or whatever they add to their itinerary so that passengers could pay for something like that. But the government of the day has the people of Ghana at heart. If it comes to decision making or policy making or anything of that sort, and that they suggest something like that, it's a mere suggestion. It is not a law that has been passed or whatever it is. It is not coming from Ghana Airport Authority, nor anyway. It was a mere suggestion that because of the fumigation cost, passengers who are coming to Ghana or perhaps...
Are we still fumigating the airport?
Well, like, luggages, because of, COVID, they still do it. And that that's what the Ministry of Health wanted by way of suggestion. So let us be very clear that it is a way of suggestion. It has not been passed or whatever. It hasn't reached even decision making or policy making, whatever it is.
So who suggested it?
From what I think it was Ministry of Health, something like that. That is what I have heard. But you see, Roland, it is very important that all of these things, perhaps government absorbs some of these costs. And if somebody is making such claims or trying to way of suggest something like this, it must be looked into. In fact, I would say that the timing is not accurate because of the difficulties that we are all in currently. I don't think government would want to, bring in, this suggestion or take this suggestion as at this time, if I may say. But it is very important that COVID is not entirely wrapped out of the globe right now. That we all need to, take care of ourselves and all that.
But do you know that the WHO came out with a complete fiat notice to across the globe that the WHO is now not recognizing the COVID pandemic as a public health issue, for which we even had some notifications as well, statements from the Ministry of Health indicating it's also not a public health issue.
Yeah,
so why should this suggestion come from a ministry that at the same time is saying this is not a public health?
In fact, I am not detailed on this. I can tell you for a fact I am not detailed on this. I believe that if you speak to the Ministry of Health or any of their relevant spokespersons, they would be able to zoom in on this and tell you exactly how it came out. But like we have said, President Akufo-Addo in his last speech, made it very clear that we have gradually come out of COVID-19, and whatever it is, we thank God for all of these things. What I'm trying to say is that let not the NDC or minority side of Parliament try to bring chaos or make news about rumors that will bring disaffection with the government of the day. And that's clearly what they are trying to do. I don't think that this is something that we all need to spend our time on. If it comes as a policy or as a result of decision making, then we all have the right to come in and say that, okay, this thing that you people are saying right now, we don't think this is the right time to do it or whatsoever. But to come out with such rumors, if somebody makes an suggestion, then you turn it into a news item just to bring public disaffection or whatever it is, I think it's not healthy. Right. What I would want to say is, if you would go into extra depth, into digging into such matter, but I know that it's a way of suggestion. Somebody from Ministry of Health was trying to say that let's try and manage the cost of some of this fumigation at the airport. So whatever it is not from the government of Ghana. I can state it. It's nothing to do with the government. Somebody's suggestion. And when it comes to policy making or decision making, then we can all come on board and say that this is not the right time to do it. So let's be very guided on this. The minority leader deputy on transport,
the
ranking member,
committee.
Yes, shouldn't try and bring any chaos or create any disaffection for government. It is not law, and take it from us. It is not law. It hasn't been passed into law. It's not any policy anywhere to go by. Let's be guided on this one.
Okay, so Hassan Tampolio also shares 19 hours ago on his Facebook page that the $7 fumigation charge per passenger at the international airport news should be disregarded. That is not true. And that they are laid down procedures. And Agbaja was very heavy on it, that, you know, he's on the ranking. He's a ranking on the committee as well. So
with my brother here, I can forgive him. He is not part of policy making. He's not part of governance. He has even stated that he's not abreast with so much with whatever has been happening. And so I can forgive him when he boldly says that it is not something that is going to happen. I would only caution him to tread cautiously.
Why?
Because his leaders are bent on imposing this $7 tax at the airports. And so he should be very careful, or tomorrow they'll play his own voice to him and he will say we pieced it and start running away from it, knowing the very leaders you have as your frontiers. Now, Hassan Tampuli can say what he wants to say. The Deputy Finance Minister, John Kuma, stood on the floor of Parliament and said we're never going to go to the IMF. True or false? The Deputy Trade Minister, did he say it or not?
No, please go ahead.
I don't get you. What is the input of this discussion that you are saying?
The minister even said
what is his attitude?
So the deputy minister has come out that this is not true. What is your take on it?
The Deputy Finance Minister said we're not going to the IMF. The Deputy Trade Minister said we're not going to the IMF. In fact, the chief himself, President Akufo-Addo, said we're not going to the IMF. Ken Oforata, the Finance Minister, said we're not going to the IMF. Are we at the IMF or not? Are we or we are still on the way? In fact, we got to the IMF in a sick, terrible condition that we had to amputate parts of our diabetic economy, all because of your recklessness and mismanagement. You same people who had recklessly managed the economy said we're not going there. Today, you have communicated to the airport company the $7 fee. They have communicated to the airline companies the $7 fee. And you come to sit here and say it's not true because
Roland, have you seen any statement from Ministry of Transport?
This attitude must stop.
Have you seen any?
What kind of attitude is this?
Have you seen any?
You come and sit on the show on Monday morning and you don't want people to speak. Why?
But the Deputy Minister for Transportation has bring finality of all of this. Why are you angry? Why are you angry? But the minister has bring finality of it.
Please.
You have bring finality to the issue. So what are you telling me?
When he speaks, I allow him. When I'm speaking, he keeps interjecting.
No. I'm telling you what you have to tell
and you are
there's no statement from government on transportation. There's no statement.
What kind of attitude
you only go by official government. You have a deputy minister of transportation who has issued a statement that these things are not true.
This is very
now you are spelling all over the audience that it is true.
Please.
That airlines and all of this have received something like that.
Allow him to.
Why do you say that?
You give him 10 minutes. He will say nothing. You give me 3 minutes.
Go ahead with what you are saying.
You are sitting here and behaving like a witch surrounded with
don't lie to the good people of Ghana. Don't lie. Don't be lying to them.
Let me give you basic education, basic knowledge, so that you don't repeat these mistakes again. And stop this interjection. This is how you do and you don't learn.
I'll take that as an insult when you tell me that. When you tell me that I should learn, what do you mean I should learn? All these things that you are saying is not true. And I'm only telling you, that what you said is not true.
Because of
there hasn't been any official communique. The deputy minister went on Twitter to deny all of these claims. Now, Roland, you are telling me this, that. Didn't you hear Roland say it? Didn't you hear Roland say it?
Please go ahead.
Malik, don't be doing that.
Will you repeat this again?
No, don't be doing that.
Go ahead.
I mean, you should stop this.
No, you know how I am with you, but don't be saying some of these things.
But if you are like this with me and today you've decided to learn from Akufo-Addo, I have to correct you.
You want me to go for it?
Listen. You are telling us on this platform, and listen attentively, that all because the $7 fumigation fee has not been passed into law, it means that it is not true. Did you ever hear of Frontiers? A company that was charging $150 at the airport. Was it passed into law? Was it in conformity with the Fees and Charges Act? Was it in conformity with the constitutional requirement that all fees must pass through Parliament? But they were there charging. Till date, has Frontiers accounted for a penny of the $150 they were charging? So the mere fact that it hasn't been passed to law does not mean that your corrupt, your insensitive government will not pass this and will not start charging.
Well, the minister has categorically
stated. The minister said we're not going to the IMF. We went there in a wheelbarrow. True or false?
But he is giving you his confidence that it will not be passed.
Is it part of policy making? Which authority has brought to some of these airlines?
This one knows nothing about policy. When you say that, no, you don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. It is not right. The minister has come
Please don't repeat this.
We're taking a break. We're going to be in Asin North today. We have.
I've given free education.
Please, gentlemen. So we're going to be in Asin North. We're going to have comprehensive, up-to-the-date minutes on the eve of this election. And please make sure you stay with us right here on TV3 New Day. We're taking a break. We'll be right back.